that is and what that means in your life and what that means in your coaching and your business. Because really the compound effect is it's at work in us at all times, you know, and because what it is, it's those little things that we do every day that bring us to the results that we have today, you know. Like, for example, if you drink a Coke every day, you know, every day of the year, 365 days a year, chances are at the end of the year, you're gonna pack on some pounds. You're gonna pack on, who knows, anywhere from, I forget, there's actually like a stat about that, but you're gonna pack on anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds at the end of the year. And then you multiply that by 5 years, that's almost, you know, that's anywhere between what, 25 to 50 pounds just drinking one soda a day. And it seems like such a little thing, right? Like, oh, it's just a Coke. Oh, it's just, you know, 140 calories and 35 grams of sugar. It's just one a day. It's not a big deal, right? But when you do that over time, that little can of Coke over time, that adds up to huge results over time. And obviously, you know, these are negative results. These are not the kind of results that you actually want. So, but that is a perfect example of the compound effect, you know. For those of you who are doing your fitness programs, you know, which we all are, of course, you know, the compound effect is at work in your life with that right now. You're getting up, you're, you know, doing your 30-minute workouts, you're drinking your Shakeology, you're doing those steps, and it's leading you to results. What's nice about our programs is that you kind of see results kind of soon, which is cool. You know, I mean, like, I know Stephanie, you already lost, 8 pounds, 10 pounds, you know, your first round of 21-day fix. Donna lost around the same, you know, so that's nice because you actually see your results kind of quick, which is cool, you know. But a lot of times with the compound effect, it's all very like underground, you know, and you don't see the results until a little bit later. And so that is like the story when it comes to coaching. So, you know, it's so important that you know that and that you realize that, because it's almost like in the beginning when you first start your coaching journey, it's almost like you're walking uphill, you know, like you're pushing like a snowball uphill, you know, up the mountain, trudging through snow, and you're like pushing it, and you're wondering, like, am I ever gonna get there? Like, or is this ever gonna get easy? Is it ever gonna not be so hard? You know, and then you get to a point though in your business where you're like where you finally get over that initial hump, you know, you finally get over that initial mountain. And then from there, you know, you start walking downhill. And when you start walking downhill, it is so much easier. It is so much easier. If you've ever climbed a mountain, then you know that. So going downhill is so much easier, and pushing the snowball downhill is so much easier. She's so cute. And it compounds. You know what happens if you're pushing a snowball? It rolls and it rolls and it gets bigger and it gets bigger and it gets bigger. Right? So that is like the perfect analogy for what coaching is like. You are going uphill for a while, okay? And you're pushing that thing by yourself, but you do get to a point where you cross over, and then you hit that momentum, you hit that oomph. And I remember when that happened in my business, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this, you know, this is awesome. It really does work, you know? And so it's kind of like before that, you kind of just have to trust the system. You have to trust the process. You have to trust and believe that you have what it takes, because you do, because you have everything that any other successful coach has had in this business, maybe more, because we have, you know, if you start studying and following some of the other coaches that have been successful in this business, then you will see that some of them started off with much harder circumstances than maybe what you're facing. Some of them had no upline support. Some of them had, you know, they're working 3 or 4 jobs, or, well, maybe not 3 or 4. I haven't met one that's done that yet, but maybe they were working 2 jobs, you know, 2 jobs. Maybe they had, you know, a ton of responsibilities or a ton of debt, or, you know, just whatever it is, whatever their obstacles were. I've heard all of them, and I've seen these coaches overcome these things. And I'm like, you know what? Like, any of our obstacles can be overcome. We just have to believe that it's possible and believe that we can do it. So, you know, so that's the thing that you have to know, that the compound effect is always at work in your life. And it's just a matter of knowing that you're doing the right daily steps to produce the results that you want. So, and that's really what we're going to kind of hone in on for tonight. Because, and I just wanted to read a quote really quick. Okay, so basically the compound effect is small, simple things that compound and get bigger, and it produces big results. So like I said, it's always at work, either in the negative or the positive. You know, we can sit on our butt all day, or we can not do, you know, our business building activities. And that is, we're still participating in the compound effect with that, you know, because by inaction, by not doing certain things, then it's producing certain results in your life, you know. But doing little things over time consistently, that produces results in your life. So, you know, every choice that we make, whether we're making a choice to, you know, advance our business by doing these little steps, or whether we're making a choice to not do this thing or not do that thing, it is still a choice. Sometimes we don't realize that we're actually making choices in our daily habits. It's just become a daily habit. Like before I started this business, you know, I was choosing to just do what I was doing. Everything I was choosing to keep my life the same. And that's where it was. It was the same. I was producing the same. Everything was the same. And even though it seems like, oh, well, that's just normal, that was actually a choice that I was making, whether I realized it or not. That was a choice I was making to just go about my daily motions, go about my daily routine. And so, you know, but a choice starts a behavior, and that behavior determines your results. It's what creates a habit, and it's what creates your results. So the same way that we can choose to be inactive, or the way we can choose to be, you know, just kind of going through the motions and just kind of keep things where they are, just maintaining things where they are, is the same way we choose to say, you know what, no, I want to change in my life. I want to get out of debt. I want to quit my job. I want to take my kids on an awesome vacation. I want to pay off my car or my house, even whatever your result is down the road. It's not like the big crazy things that are going to produce that, you know, you getting to that result. It's the little daily steps. It's the little things. And so that is what we have to keep in mind. That is what you have to know, that when you're doing all these little steps in your Beachbody coaching business, that they might seem insignificant, they might seem mundane sometimes, they might seem like, is this even working? But I promise you that it is. You know, because like I know in the beginning it's also, and this still happens to me actually, but you know, like you'll do this awesome post and you'll share about what you're doing, or you'll do like a call to action post to invite people to join your challenge group or to check out coaching and stuff, and you'll get like no traffic on it. You're like, no one will like it, no one will comment on it, right? Or like we were talking about earlier, how if you have a challenge group and you do a post in there and then no one responds, you're like, what's going on, you know? And so sometimes it seems like some of the daily things that we do, we feel like, oh, well, is this even getting anywhere? Like, am I even making progress here? Like, what's going on? But, you know, it's just like, I mean, and I can use pregnancy as an example because that is like very real to me right now. But, you know, like those first few months, you barely like notice anything is like changing on the outside because you kind of look the same. I know a lot of people, they obviously feel very different, but you know, you on the outside, probably a lot of people can't even tell that you're pregnant in those first few months, but there's like a whole bunch of life happening on the inside of you. And, you know, and so that is what is happening when you're doing these small, you know, seemingly insignificant daily behaviors in your business as it relates to your business. You know, as you're doing those things, it is producing results. It is producing life on the inside of you and in your business. And you are going to see the fruition of that if you don't give up and if you stay consistent. So, you know, that's really the thing that I can say, like people, you know, they ask all the time, like, well, what is it, you know, that breaks through your business, or how do you get to the place where you are? How do you, you know, get to this level or that level? And it all literally boils down to the simple things done consistently over time. I read another quote today. It said, you will never change your life until you change something that you do daily. So the secret of your success is in your daily habit. So, and I love how our business so parallels the whole fitness thing. It's like, it really helps you wrap your mind around it. But, you know, the things we change, our life changes by the simple steps we do daily, you know, by the things that are our habits. Our habits create our reality. So, you know, so when you get to that point where you're like, well, is this really working? Or is this truly being effective? You know, why am I not seeing, like, you know, people jump all over what I'm doing right out of the gate? And it's because your compound effect just needs to be in effect a little bit longer. You know, people need to see you being consistent. So, you know, so especially for those of you who are kind of just getting started and stuff too, like if you have, you know, if you have those days where you're like, oh, well, you get no traffic on your posts, or maybe people aren't responding to your messages, and you're like, well, what's going on? What's wrong with me? You know, guess what? Every coach goes through that, especially in the beginning. I still have that happen, you know, from time to time, you know. So don't think that just because, you know, I've been doing this a while that doesn't happen to me too. But I know what I know now that I didn't know when I first started was that if I'm consistent doing my part and leading by example, and if I'm consistently doing those small daily behaviors, then I know that I'll see success. So whether today someone, you know, I get 10 comments on a post, or whether tomorrow I get 0, you know, whether today I get 5 people that respond to my message, or maybe tomorrow I just get 1, it doesn't faze me, because I know that my success is not in people's immediate response. My success is in me doing my part and doing the consistent things. You know, doing those consistent daily behaviors. So that's exciting, because you realize that your success is not in anybody else's hands except your own. And that is, to me, that's a wonderful thing, because no one can give it to you and no one can take it away from you. So your success is not dependent on people responding to you. It's not dependent on how many friends you have in your current circle of influence. It's not dependent on how well written you are and how you're able to talk, or it's not dependent on any of that. It's dependent on you just doing the daily steps, doing the vital behaviors. So kind of to get more specific about that, like, okay, so what are these daily little things that I need to be doing every day, right? And you'll hear this like over and over and over again, but it really comes down to the vital behaviors, you know. So the vital behaviors we know are being proof that the product works. So, you know, which everybody I know on this call is totally rocking at that, you know, but being proof that the product works, sharing your fitness journeys. So in order to share it, you obviously have to be doing it. So doing your workouts, drinking your Shakeology, you know, those kind of things, that is being proof that the product works, sharing your journey. And that doesn't just mean showing your before and after picture, because, you know, those come every so often, but sharing your daily journey. And Stephanie Montgomery, you've done an awesome job with that, sharing your daily journey, you know, you and your mom working out. I mean, it's awesome. People, you know, even though you might feel like, well, do people even notice, or are they giving, you know, I don't get a lot of traffic on that, or maybe it doesn't seem like I get a lot of interest on that, but people are watching that, and they're seeing you being so consistent, you know, and they're seeing you constantly sharing about it. And whether people engage with you right now or not, they're watching. And as they're seeing you be consistent, when they get to the point where they're like, okay, this girl's for real. She's been doing this a while. It's not just a fad. It's not just a phase. It's not just like this quick fixing. Like, she's been doing this a while, you know, and your consistency builds your credibility. So that's something to know, you know, in your circle of influence, that a lot of people, they're on the sidelines watching you, but as they see you be consistent, it builds credibility in what you're doing. As they see you consistently getting results, as they see you getting challengers and other people that you're working with, helping them get results, when they see that time and time again, they're eventually going to be like, okay, you know, they obviously know what they're doing. They're getting results. I need to find out what this is about. So that is the case with any coach. You can talk to any coach and they'll tell you that, you know, people often, they might not jump in right away, but down the road they usually do, because they see that you're for real. They see that you're being consistent. So vital behavior number 1 is being proof that the product works, sharing your journey yourself. Number 2 is personal development. You know, that is one of our huge vital behaviors, and it's one that so easily gets overlooked, but it's so important, because if you're not filling yourself up, you know, if you're not changing your own mindset, if you're not, you know, pouring into yourself, you're going to have nothing to give. So, you know, make sure that you have a good personal development action plan. So whether it's a book or an audio series if you like to do audio stuff. Like I know for some people, if you're really, really busy, you're like, I don't have time to sit down and read something. Get an audio book and play it on your phone while you're doing chores or while you're driving or whatever. There are so many ways to do that. We have so many great resources now with the technology that we have. So, but definitely find a great book and always be reading something, even if it's just 5 to 10 pages a day. That's all it takes, The Compound Effect is a great one. That's awesome. It's by Darren Hardy. So that is a great, great book. And anybody who achieves Success Club this month, I will buy you that book and send it to you. So just throwing that out there as like an extra little incentive, because that book was really such a blessing, it really helped me in my business. So, but if you want to go ahead and get it now, then I'll buy you a different book because, if you want to go ahead and get started with it. So being proof that the product works is daily behavior. Your personal development is a daily behavior, and inviting is one of the daily behaviors that you want to be doing consistently every day. And that can be inviting people to a challenge group, inviting them to coaching, inviting them to open house, inviting them to, if you're running a free group, inviting them to be your friend, sending friend requests, so invitation covers like a large category, but doing those invites every day, that is absolutely key to the growth of your business. So to me, like I was saying earlier, my my satisfaction in my business every day does not come from how many people I sign up or how many people I get to say yes. It comes from how many people I share with, knowing that I hit my daily sharing goal, knowing that I did my part daily, and I sent out my invites. That's where I'm like, okay, great, I did my part, because I know if I do my part, I know people will come around. Even if they don't say yes now, I know that they will. So I know that somebody will down the road, and I just have to keep sharing. So getting those invites out there is super important. And there's so many ways to do that. We have so many tools in our resource toolbox. There's different scripts, and it shows you different ways that you can invite. We can do event pages. You can do posts with the call to action. There's so many ways to invite. So you're not limited to just one way. But just daily inviting, daily getting out there, daily reaching out to people. And, and also with that, make sure you're always expanding your friends list, and reaching out to new people too, because if you just rely on just the circle of influence that you have right now, you'll eventually exhaust that. So you have to go outside of just who you know right now. So send friend requests, send those new friends messages to get to know them. Personally speaking, I don't usually invite people if they're like a total stranger to me. I send them a friend request, and I try to get to know them first for a little bit, before I invite them, to a challenge group or something. But I have a lot of other coaches, and they just invite total strangers, and it works for them. So you find what works for you along the way. But the moral of the story is do some kind of inviting every single day. We actually have a fourth vital behavior too, which is recognition. And that is recognizing the people that you want to highlight. So it can be your challengers, it can be your coaches when you have coaches, but recognize people, highlight them, share their success, share your success, share a transformation story. If you don't have anybody on your team yet who has had a transformation, then use the one from Dare to Dream. Dare to Dream is part of your team. So you can go in there, you can, connect with some of the other coaches. You can, if you see one of their transformations and you connect with it, then share that. But recognizing the success of others, it also brings credibility to what you're doing as a coach as well. So, so really guys, those are the simple things, and just to recap, it's being proof that the product works, sharing your own personal fitness journey, personal development, inviting, and recognition. Those 4 things, if you do those consistently over time, that is what leads to big results in this business. That is what you eventually get over that, that hump, that initial hump. You pick up momentum, and you pick up speed, and you pick up progress as you're going downhill, and so that shift does happen. And I know what it's like to be on the other side where you feel like you're just like pulling a freight train by yourself, uphill. But it gets better. And in that journey, in that process, that's where you're learning a lot too. You're learning your own groove. You're learning your own style on how to do this. You're learning You're getting more comfortable in sharing your story. You're getting more comfortable with some of the online tools and the Facebook, things that you can do. So, you have to realize that you're starting a whole new business. And it does take some time. It does take some trial and error to learn what works for you. And I feel like I'm always constantly, tweaking and changing and improving and all that. So, so just know that that does take time, but have faith in the process. And that's just what I want to tell you guys, is have faith in the process. Because when you're first starting out, you see other coaches that are successful and you're like, man, well, what's wrong with me? Why am I not there yet? But you don't know that it took them how long to get to the point where they are. It took them being in your exact same shoes and just continuing to go through, through the same steps that you're going through right now. But the difference is just that they've been doing it longer and they haven't given up, and that all of that consistency has built up over time. It has compounded over time. And that's the other amazing thing about this business. And I'll just say this before we close it out. Is the compound effect in this business. This is what's so cool about this. This is not just like a typical job where you clock in, you clock out, and you just get paid for the hours that you work. In the beginning with Beachbody, you're going to feel like you're working for free. And I know I did for a long time. I was working for free, maybe like 50 cents an hour kind of thing, considering all the time I put in the beginning, where I felt like I wasn't really getting rewarded for my time. But what happens again, when you get your momentum going, when your consistency builds your credibility and you start seeing people come around, because they see your consistency, because they see your example, then it starts to compound. Your team, what your team produces starts to compound. It becomes contagious. You help some person and you help them lose 10 pounds, you help them lose 20 pounds, you help them lose 50 pounds or whatever. They get excited about that. I mean, that's life-changing for someone, to lose 50 pounds. I mean, literally, that can change someone's life. That can change their health. That can add years to their life. So when that kind of change happens to somebody, then, they're gonna be excited. They're gonna share. They're gonna want to get involved. They're gonna want to share with other people. And so one person like that creates a ripple effect. Same thing, you might talk to like 20 people, you might talk to 100 people, and 50% of them might tell you, no, this is not for me. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that instead, da, 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 da. But you might find one person out of that crowd that says, you know what, I see this, I get it, I want to run with it, and they say, yeah, I want to be a coach with you. I want to join this team. Show me how to get started. And that one person can just get it, and they can take off with this business, and they can see their life change, and it's going to have a ripple effect in their life. It's going to have a ripple effect in the people they're reaching and the people they're helping. And in your business, it's going to have a huge ripple effect as well, because that's what we have here. We have this amazing tree. The compensation plan with this business is amazing. So, your efforts are not just dependent on what you do. Your results, are not just dependent on on your personal effort. I mean, that is a huge part of it. But as you're helping and reaching others, what they're doing is also compounding in your business as well. So it's amazing the way they set this up, that as we build others, then that's what builds your business. So focus on helping other people. Focus on helping people get their fitness started, get their fitness on track. Focus on helping people get their mind around coaching and get their coaching on track. And when you focus on building other people, then it is going to build your business. That is going to be the ripple effect of that. And the same goes for them, for the other coaches. You're teaching them how to build up other people. And as they're doing that, it is going to directly impact your business, which is awesome. So, it's really cool. It's a win-win to see that happen. And just know that the way it compounds, the way that your team grows, the way that your family tree grows in this business, it is exponential. It does compound. And if you're not familiar with the compensation plan and how it works and how coaches get paid and all of that, then you need to study up on that, because you need to know what you have in your hands. You need to know what's available to you. you know, and that is so key. That is so important, because when you realize that, you realize what you have in your hands, you're like, oh my gosh, you know, this is awesome. So I'm excited for you guys, seeing your victories along the way, and your journey in your fitness and your coaching. You guys are doing an awesome job. And so I just want to encourage you with that, because it's those little things that right now might seem so insignificant. Those are the building blocks of your business. That is, you know, that is the foundation. Those are the bricks that you build with in this business. And none of that goes wasted. None of that goes unseen. None of that goes, you know, unused. So just know that those consistent little things that you're doing every day is going to produce great results. You know, just like those of you who are moms and you have kids, you know, those consistent daily things that you do for your kids, you know, reminding them to brush their teeth, taking care of them, making sure they're fed, might seem like the most insignificant things, but you know, that produces a healthy child down the road. So, you know, it's the simple things, it's the little things. So, you know, don't get discouraged when you feel like, you know, things aren't moving as fast. That's okay. Fast is not an indicator of success. Consistency is an indicator of success. So you know that if you're consistent, you're going to have success. You're going to see it. And it might take, for some people, it might take this amount of time for it to produce. For some people, it might take this amount of time. So don't worry about the timing of it. Worry about the consistency of it, just being consistent. And I know for a lot of us who are busy, everyone's busy. I mean, I don't think I've ever met a coach that's not busy. Everyone's busy. And honestly, the busier coaches make better coaches in a way, if they're committed, because it forces them to be laser focused on those activities. So be laser focused on those daily vital behaviors, on the business activity tracker, you know, doing those activities. Those are the things that you want to be laser focused on, especially if you have a super busy life and you're juggling other things. You know, you have to carve out time for your business and treat it like a business if you want it to produce for you like a business. So it's not about putting millions of hours in there. You know, y'all hear me talk about that a lot. I work still part-time hours, and I always have really with this. It's because that's all I've been able to do. You know, it's just part-time hours. So it's not about putting tons and tons and tons of hours. It's about doing focused activities. And so use your daily vitals as your guide, as what I need to be doing daily. Use the business activity tracker as your guide. Okay, this is my checklist for the day, more or less. And just be as consistent as you possibly can. And when you fall off, you get back on. When you fall down, you get back up, you know. So that is pretty much all I wanted to share with you guys tonight. I will mention tomorrow we have open house. So it's a great time to invite people to check out the open house. And that's a great thing for people who are thinking about coaching. Maybe you've talked to them about coaching and they're like still not sure, or maybe they're not getting back to you. It's a great chance to reach out to them and say, hey, we've got this open house happening. If you want to learn more from our coaching team and kind of get a behind the scenes feel for what we do, that is exactly, so, you know, that is exactly what you want to do. So anyways, just wanted to share that with you guys. And if you have any questions or anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You know how to find me on Facebook or email or whatever. Just let me know. Okay, guys? Love y'all. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, okay?
Bye.
Bye. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you next time.
Bye.
Oh, so cute. Okay,
Bye.
guys, take care. Bye.
You too.